comes the moment you ring for him. And when he comes, I'm going to tell him to fetch the police.
The police? What for?
Well, tomorrow, the Berkshires are going to prosecute you. That's what the police are for.
Don't you know? I'll do anything you want. Anything in the world that you want.
Give me Robert Chilton's letter.
Stop. Stop. Let me have it on.
Give me Robert Chilton's letter.
I haven't got it with me. I'll give it to you tomorrow.
You have got it on you. You're lying. Give it to me. Is this it?
Yes.
So well dressed a woman, Mrs. Cheveley. You have moments of common sense. I congratulate you.
Please give me a glass of water. Thank you. Will you help me on with my cloak?
With pleasure.
I'm never going to try to harm Robert Chilton again.
Well, fortunately, you will have not the opportunity.
Well, I mean, if I had the opportunity, I wouldn't. On the contrary, I'm going to render him a great service.
Oh, how charming. Such a reformation.
Yes, I can't bear so upright a gentleman, so honorable an English gentleman, being so shamefully deceived. And so,
Oh,
I find that somehow Gertrude Chilton's confession has strayed into my pocket.
what do you mean?
I mean that I'm going to send Robert Chilton the love letter his wife wrote to you tonight.
Love letter.
I want you, I trust you, I'm coming to you. Gertrude.
You wretched woman. Why must you always be thieving? Give me that letter. I will take it by force. You are not leaving this room until I've got it.
Lord Goring merely arranged that you should show me out. Good night, Lord Goring.
Where comes love's resolution? You know what you have to do. Keep them married to each other. Find someone to marry you.
Don't protest and don't ask questions. What is marriage? What is love? Tie the ring and bend the ear.
Tie the knot and that's enough.
The truth is not an option. The dead never stay. Lie to her and lie to us. Lie away on, lie away on blue. The game
Oh, it is a great nuisance. There's no one in this house to talk to. I am so full of interesting information.
Sir Robert is still at the Foreign Office, my lord.
His lady children not come down yet.
Her ladyship has not yet left her room. Miss Chilton has just come in from riding.
Ah, that is.
Lord Caversham has been waiting for some time in the library for Sir Robert. I told him your lordship was here.
Oh, Thank you. Please tell him I've gone.
I will do so, my lord.
I can't meet my father 3 days running. It's a great deal too much excitement for any son. Sincerely hope he does not come up. Fathers should neither be seen nor heard. It's the only proper place for a family life. Mothers are different. Mothers are darlings.
Well, sir, what are you doing here? Wasting your time as usual, I suppose?
Oh, my dear father, when one comes to pay a visit, it is to waste the other person's time, not one's own.
Have you been thinking about what I spoke to you about last time?
I have been thinking about nothing else.
Engaged to be married yet?
No, not yet, but I hope to be before lunch.
You can have till dinner time if it's any convenience to you.
Thanks awfully. I think I'd sooner be married, engaged before lunch.
Never know when you're serious or not.
Neither do I, Papa.
Suppose you read the Times this morning?
Times? Certainly not. I only read the Morning Post. All one needs to know in this modern life is where the duchesses are. Everything else is much too demoralizing.
Do you mean to say you've not read the Times' leading article on Robert Chilton's career?
Heavens, no. What does it say?
What should it say, sir? Everything complimentary, of course. Chiltern's speech on this Argentine canal scheme was one of the finest pieces of oratory I've delivered in the House last night.
And did Chiltern uphold the scheme?
Uphold it, sir? How little you know him! He denounced it roundly, and this whole scheme of market political financing. This speech is a turning point in his career, as the Times points out. You should read this article, sir. Sir Robert Chilton, most rising of our young statesmen, brilliant orator, unblemished career, well-known integrity of character, representative of the best in English public life, noble contrast to the lax morality so common among foreign politicians. They will never say that of you, sir.
I sincerely hope not, Father. However, I am thoroughly delighted with what you told me. I am thoroughly delighted. It shows he's got pluck.
He's got more than pluck, sir. He's got genius.
I prefer pluck. It is far too common, much less common than geniuses nowadays.
I wish you would go into Parliament, sir.
Good heavens, Father. No, only people who look dull ever get into the House of Commons, and only people who are dull ever succeed there.
Why don't you try to do something useful in life?
I'm far too young.
Oh, I hate this affectation of you, sir. It is far too prevalent nowadays.
Father, youth is not an affectation. Youth is an art.
Why don't you propose to that pretty Miss Chilton?
Oh, my dear mother, I am much too nervous of a disposition, especially in the morning.
Suppose there's any chance of her accepting it.
I don't know how the odds are today.
If she did accept you, she'd be the prettiest fool in England.
Well, that is exactly what I should like to marry. A very sensible woman who would leave me in a condition of idiocy in less than 6 months.
You don't deserve her, sir.
Oh, my dear father, if we men married the women we deserve, we should all have a very bad time of it.
Oh, how do you do, Lord Caversham? I hope Lady Caversham is quite well.
Lady Caversham is as usual.
As usual. Good morning, Miss Mabel.
And her bonnets, are they all there?
They've had a serious relapse, I'm afraid.
Oh,
Good morning, Miss Mabel.
I hope an operation will not be necessary.
If it is, we shall have to give Lady Caversham a narcotic. Otherwise, she would not consent to have a feather touched.
Good morning, Miss Mabel.
Oh, are you here? Of course you understand, after breaking your appointment this morning, I am never going to speak to you again.
Oh, pray, don't say anything like that. You are the one person in London who I really like to have listened to me.
Lord Goring, I never believe a word that either you or I say to one another.
You're quite right, Mindy, quite right. As far as he is concerned,
Do you think you might make such a little matter occasionally? Just as a change?
I am sorry to say, Miss Chiltern, that I have no influence at all over my son. I wish I had. If I had, I know what I would make him do.
I'm afraid he has one of those terribly weak natures that are not susceptible to influence.
He is very heartless indeed.
I see that I am a little in the way here.
It's very good for you to be in the way, and to know what others say behind your back.
I don't at all like knowing what other people say behind my back. It makes me far too conceited.
After that idea, I shall have to bid you good morning.
Oh, I hope you're not going to leave me all alone with Lord Goring, especially at such an early hour in the day.
I'm afraid I cannot take him with me to Downing Street. It is not the Prime Minister's day for seeing the unemployed.
People who break their appointments in the park are horrid.
Detest them.
Well, I'm glad you didn't. But I wish you wouldn't look so pleased about it.
I can't help it. I always look pleased when I'm with you.
I suppose it's my duty to remain here then.
Of course it is.
Well, my duty is a thing that I never do on principle. It always depresses me, and so I'm afraid I must leave.
Oh, Miss Mabel, please. I have something very particular which I would like to say to you.
Oh, is it a proposal?
Good. Well, yes, it is. I'm bound to say it is.
Oh, I'm so glad! That makes the second day.
Second today, as conceited as decided to propose to you before I propose to you.
Tommy Trafford, of course. It is one of Tommy Trafford's days of proposing. He always proposes on Tuesdays and Thursdays during the season.
You didn't accept, did you?
I make it a rule never to accept, Tommy. That is why he goes on proposing. Of course, as you didn't turn up this morning, I very nearly said yes. It might have been a very good lesson for both you and him if I had. It might have taught you both better manners.
Don't bother Tommy Trafford. He is a silly little ass. I love you.
I know! Oh, if you might have said something sooner, I'm sure I've given you hints of opportunities.
Miss Mabel, be serious, please. Do be serious.
That's the sort of thing that a man always says to a girl before he's been married to her. He never says it afterwards.
Miss Mabel, I have told you that I love you. Can't you love me a little in return?
You silly Arthur. If you knew anything about anything, you would know that I adore you. All of London knows it except you. It is a public scandal the way that I adore you. I have been going about all of society for the last 6 months, telling them how I adore you. I wonder if you have anything to say to me. I'm sure I have no character left at all. Oh, at least I feel so happy. I'm sure I have no character left at all.
Darling, well, don't you know how absolutely horrifying that you might refuse me?
Oh, but darling, no one has ever refused you anything. I can't imagine anyone refusing you.
Of course, I'm not nearly good enough for you, Miss Mabel.
Oh, but I am so glad. I was so worried that you were.
And I am a little over 30.
Oh, but darling, you look weeks younger than that.
And I think it only fair to tell you that I am frightfully extravagant.
Oh, but darling, so am I, so we are sure to get along. Oh, I must go and tell Gertrude now.
Oh, must you really?
Yes.
her, Robert.
Do you mean to tell me that you didn't come here expressly to propose to me?
No! That was a streak of genius.
You first!
My last.
I am so glad. Now don't stir. I shall be back in 5 minutes and don't fall into any temptation while I am away.
Miss Mabel, while you are away, there is none, which is why I am so horribly dependent on you.
Oh, good morning, dear. How pretty you are looking. Dear Gertrude, how pale you are looking. Oh, it is most becoming.
Good morning, Miss Thornton.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
I shall be in the conservatory under the second pantry on the left.
On the left?
Yes, the usual pantry.
Lady Chilton, I have a certain amount of very good news for you. You see, Lady Chilton, Mrs. Cheapley gave me up Robert's letter last night, and I burned it. Robert is safe.
Oh, safe! Oh, I'm so glad! What a good friend you are to him, to us.
Now there is only one person who could be said to be in any danger.
Who?
Yourself.
I? Danger, what do you mean?
Well, danger is too strong a word. It is not the word I should have used. But I will admit that what I'm going to tell you may distress you. I find it terribly distressing. Yesterday, you wrote me a beautiful, womanly letter asking for my help. And you wrote it to me as one of Robert's oldest friends, as one of your oldest friends. Mrs. Cheapley stole that letter from one of my rooms.
Well, what use is it to her? Why should she not have it?
Lady Chilton, I'm going to be quite frank with you. She proposes to put a construction on that letter and send it to your husband.
What sort of construction is she to put on?
Oh, not if I am in trouble and wanting your help, propose to come to you that you may give me advice and assistance. Oh, are there women so horrible that she proposes to send it to my husband? Tell me everything that happened.
Well, Mrs. Cheapley was in a room adjoining my library without my knowledge. I thought it was you who was concealed in that room. Robert came up unexpectedly. There was a terrible scene. Mrs. Cheapley was discovered. He left in a huff. And then she took possession of the letter. She stole it. How, when? I don't know.
At what hour did this happen?
10:30. It was awful.
But what is there to do?
What is there? Oh! Wait. Interceptors. You said something about secretaries.
Oh,
Yes.
well, yes, sure.
Secretaries are. They open his letters, don't they?
Yes.
And who is with him today?
Mr. Montgomery.
Not sure, Mr. Chadwick. Well, you trust him?
How do I know?
He would do what you say.
I think so.
Your note was written on pink notebook paper. He could recognize it without reading it by the color of ink.
I suppose so.
Yes, yes. I will go to him today, right now, and I will tell him that there's a letter coming to Robert to be intercepted that he must not get. Oh, Robert is coming up the stairs with the letter in his hand.
Oh, St. Heaven, what
I want you. I trust you. I'm coming to you. Oh, my love, is this true? Do you indeed want me and trust me? Oh, if so, it was for me to come to you, not for you to rival coming to me. Oh, Gertrude, this letter makes me feel that nothing that the world could do could harm me now. You want me, Gertrude?
Yes.
You trust me, Gertrude?
Yes.
Oh, why did you not have to love me?
Because I love you.
Oh! Oh, Gertrude! You don't know what I feel. When Montfort passed me your letter across the table, you opened it by mistake, I suppose, and when I read it, oh, I did not care what disgrace or punishment was in store for me. I only thought you loved me still.
There is no disgrace, nor any public shame. Mrs. Cheatham has given the document was in her possession to Lord Warwick, and he has destroyed it.
Oh, are you sure of this?
Yes, Lord Warwick just told me.
Oh, I am safe! I am safe! What a wonderful thing to be safe for 2 days. I have been in terror. I am safe now. How did Arthur destroy the letter?
He burned it.
Oh, I wish I had seen the letter burning to ashes before me. How many men are there in modern life who like to see their past burning to white ashes in front of them? Is Arthur still here?
Yes, he's in the conservatory.
Oh, I'm so glad I made that speech in the house last night. So glad. I made it thinking that public disgrace might be the result, but it's not been so.
Public honor has been the result.
I think so. I fear so almost. For although I'm now safe from detection, although every proof against me is destroyed, I suppose, Gertrude, I suppose I ought to retire from public life.
Yes. Oh, you should do that. It is your duty to do that.
It is much to surrender.
Oh, no, it would be much to gain.
And you would be all right living alone with me somewhere abroad, perhaps? Away from London, away from public life, you have no regrets.
Oh, none at all.
And your ambition for me, you used to be ambitious for me.
Oh, my ambition. I have none now, but that we two may love each other. It was your ambition that led you astray. Don't let us talk about ambition.
Oh, Arthur, I have to thank you for what you've done for me. How can I repay you?
Well, my good fellow, at this very moment, underneath the second palm tree, on the left, in the conservatory,
Lord Haversham.
there's my admirable father making an incorrect entrance, as usual. He is very heartless indeed, Lady Chiltern.
Congratulations, children, on your brilliant speech last night. I have just left the Prime Minister, and you are to have the vacant seat in the cabinet. A seat in the cabinet?
Yes, sir, and you're richly deserving to. Here is the Prime Minister's letter.
A seat in the cabinet? Yes, indeed, yes, indeed. You have what we want so much of in English public life. High character, high moral tone, high principles. Everything you have not got, sir, and never will have.
I don't like principles, father. I prefer prejudices.
Lord Caversham, I cannot accept this offer. I've made up my mind to decline. Decline, sir? It is my intention to retire at once from public life. Decline a cabinet post to retire from public life? Never heard such a lot of damn nonsense in my whole existence. I beg your pardon, Lady Chiltern. Children, I beg your pardon. Don't breathe like that, sir. Lady Chiltern, you are a sensible woman. The most sensible woman in London. The most sensible woman I know. Could you kindly prevent your husband from making such a... from taking such... Could you kindly do that, Lady Chiltern?
I think my husband is right in his determination, Lord Caversham. I approve of it.
You approve of it? Good heavens.
I admire him for it. I admire him immensely for it. I answer, won't you, Robert? Don't hesitate about it.
Yes, I'd better write it at once. Such offers are not repeated. I will ask you to excuse me for a moment.
I may come with you, may I not?
Yes, sir.
What's the matter with his family? Idiocy? Hereditary, I suppose? Both of them too, wife as well as husband. They're sad. They're sad indeed. And they're not an old family. I don't understand it.
I assure you, Father, it's not idiocy.
What is it then, sir?
I believe it is what is called a high moral tone.
Same things we used to call idiocy 50 years ago. Shan't stay in this house any longer.
Go in there. A moment, Father. Second palm tree on the left, the usual palm tree.
What?
Sorry, Father. Pardon me, I forgot. The conservatory, Father. The conservatory. There's someone in there I'd like you to talk to.
What about, sir?
Well, about me.
Not a subject on which much eloquence is possible.
Well, I know, Father, but she's like me. She doesn't place much value in eloquence and others. She thinks it rather loud. Big children. Why are you playing Mrs. Cheapley's card?
I don't understand.
Mrs. Cheapley made an attempt to ruin your husband, either by driving him from public life or to make him take up a dishonorable position. And from the latter, you saved him. The former you are now thrusting upon him. Why should you do him the wrong that Mrs. Cheapley tried to do and failed?
Lord Goring.
Mrs. Lady Children, allow me. You wrote me last night a letter in which you said that you trusted me, you wanted my help. Well, now is the moment when you really want my help. Now is the moment when you have got to trust me. You've got to trust my counsel and my judgment. You love Robert. Do you want to kill his love? What sort of an existence will he have if you rob him of the fruits of his ambitions? If you take him from the splendor of his great political career, if you close the door of public life in his face, if you condemn him to sterile failure, he who was made for triumph and success. Women are not to judge us, but to forgive us when we need forgiveness. Pardon, not punishment, is their mission. Why should you scourge him with the rods for sin done in his youth? Before he knew himself. A man's life is of more value than a woman's. It has larger issues. It has a wider scope. It has greater ambition. A woman's life revolves in circles of emotions. It is upon the lines of intellect that a man's life progresses. Do not make any terrible mistakes, lady. A woman who can keep the love of a man and love him in return has all the world wants. Or should want to.
But it is Robert himself who wishes to retire from public life. He feels it was his duty. It was he who first said so.
Rather than lose your love, Robert would do anything. He would wreck his whole political career as he is on the verge of doing it now. Take my advice, lady children, and do not accept such a sacrifice from him. If you do, you will live to repent it. We men and women were not meant to accept such sacrifices from each other. Besides, Robert has been punished.
We have both been punished. I set him up too high.
Then do not now set him down too low. If he has fallen from his altar, do not now thrust him into the mire. Failure for Robert is the very mire of shame. cowardice, his passion. He could lose everything. He could even lose his power to feel love. Lady Chilton, your husband's life is in your hand. At this moment, your husband's love is in your hands. Do not mar the both of them forever.
Gertrude, here is the draft of my letter. Shall I read it to you?
Let me see.
What are you doing?
A man's life is of more value than a woman's. It has larger issues, wider scope, greater ambitions. Our lives move in circles of emotions. It is on lines of intellect than a man's own purposes. I have just learned this and much else with it from Lord Goring, and I will not spoil your life for you, nor see you spoil it as a sacrifice to me, a useless sacrifice.
True.
You forget. Men easily forget. And I forgive. That is how women help the world. I see that now.
Your wife. My wife. Arthur, it seems I will always be your dad.
Oh dear, Robert, no. You are into Lady Chilton's dad, not mine.
I owe you much. Now, what were you going to ask me just now as Lord Caversham came in?
Oh, you are your sister's guardian. I would like your consent to my marriage with her. That is all.
Oh, I am so glad. I am so glad.
My sister to be your wife.
Yes.
I'm very sorry, Arthur, but it is quite out of the question. I have to think of Mabel's future happiness, and I don't think her happiness would be safe in your hands, and I can't have her sacrificed.
Sacrifice?
Yes, utterly sacrificed. Loveless marriages are horrible, but there is one thing worse than an absolutely loveless marriage. A marriage in which there is love, but on one side only. Faith, but on one side only. Devotion, but on one side only. And in which, of the two hearts, one is sure to be broken.
But I love Mabel. There is no other woman who occupies any other place in my life.
Robert, if they love each other, why should they not be married?
Arthur cannot give Mabel the love that she deserves.
What reason have you for saying that?
Do you really require me to tell you?
Certainly, I do.
As you choose. When I called on you yesterday evening, I found Mrs. Cheveley concealed in one of your rooms. It was between 10 and 11 o'clock at night.